I don't drive my car a ton in the winter. I tend to walk around a lot. Went out to mine the other day. I figured, you know what, it's been a bit. I should probably at least run it to make sure we're still good to go here. So I drove it and brought it down to the shop to work for the day. And it just sat. At the end of the day, I got in, went to fire it up, wouldn't start. Battery's dead. Messed around with it a little bit. Booster wouldn't work. But then again, my booster had been charged and left sit for like 3 months. So I don't know if it had a full charge in it. Randomly fired up. So I let it run, brought it home, stopped it when I got home, tried to start it again right away, fired right up. I was like, okay, whatever. But I noticed that the voltmeter was reading weird. Could be the battery going. It had a dead cell in it, and I used an interesting internet hack to revive the dead cell, which actually worked. And I've been using the battery for like 4 months. So I wasn't surprised when it sort of decided to no longer exist. Put it on the charger for a couple days. It charged, started the truck up, worked fine. Put my multimeter on the battery, and the voltage was jumping all over the place. It was going from 10 to 14 to nothing, showing that it was so high that there was a bigger issue at hand, but it definitely wasn't staying at a consistent number. So I'm like, oh, looks like the alternator must be dying. So I pulled the little beauty cover thing off of the engine to hook the multimeter up to the alternator to see what's going on. And there is the beginning of a mouse nest on top of the alternator. Now, it was really, really fine stuff. So I thought, okay, let's get rid of that, and then I'll be able to test the alternator, because I couldn't even get at the alternator. So I just knocked it on. It was literally just set on top, super lightly. Nothing, and which is funny, because, I mean, the truck had maybe sat a month without being driven, and they got in there that fast. So I knocked it off, went back over, started the truck back up. It tested the battery voltage again at the battery, charging perfectly consistent. Went over to the alternator, put it on the alternator, charging perfectly consistently. I was like, oh, I guess what happened was the way the mouse nest was perched on top of the alternator, part of it was touching the positive lead off of the alternator and then grounding itself out against the body of the alternator, causing a bit of a draw. It was a small short that wasn't allowing it to get full voltage. So it's been a week, and I've been driving it everywhere after knocking the mouse nest off, and it seems to still be going. So, you know, fingers crossed on that one. That was probably one of the strangest repairs I have ever done on a vehicle. No chewed wires. It was nothing like that. Hadn't even gone into a lot of the engine bay or anything. I don't know how it happened or how it didn't short it out and catch fire. So I'm going to try to drive it again tomorrow down to the shop. It's been a week since I did that, and we'll go from there. We'll see what happens.